A special meeting notice of the Hudson County Board of County Commissioners. In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the Hudson County Board of County Commissioners will hold a special meeting on Wednesday, May 28th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. and Thursday, May 29th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. These meetings will be held at the Commissioners' Chambers located in the Administration Building Annex, first floor, 567 Pavonia Avenue, Jersey City. The agenda of the special meeting is to review the 2025 Hudson County budget by department. No official action will be taken at these special meetings. Copies of this notice has been posted on the Commissioner's Bulletin Board, first floor of the Administration Building Annex, 567 Pavonia Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, and filed in the office of the Hudson County Clerk. Copies of this notice were sent to the editors of the Kearney Observer and the Star Ledger. Roll call. Commissioner Aponte-Lipsky, Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno.
Here.
Commissioner Cifelli.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner O'Day.
Here.
Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Walker. Chairman Romano.
I saw Carrie's, I'm sorry, but I saw Carrie's
Carried that before.
video, so I don't know why she didn't chime in, but I think she's on, I think.
I think she just opted out.
Well,
We still have a quorum.
Can we start with the superintendent of schools? I guess what is going on.
The first one I have listed is the surrogate. John, do you want to take over?
Let's go superintendent of schools. She's on top.
Yeah, we just that's
Okay,
the
I
order.
see, I see Commissioner Walker just joined us.
so what tab is that though?
Commissioner Superintendent of Schools is located in Book 2, Section 13, page 247.
Mhm.
Hold on, John, I'm flipping over to the. Got it. Okay, thanks, John.
You're welcome.
All right, who's on?
Is there anybody from the schools here?
Who's on from the superintendent of school?
Melissa is on.
Okay, so can we have her unmuted?
Melissa, are you muted?
I am here now. I had a different link than I typically have, so thank you.
Hey, Melissa, it's Kenny.
So
Good afternoon.
I see that you eliminated 3 positions from your office, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I really appreciate the work that I was able to do with John in getting that taken care of. It was super helpful.
No, great job. Anytime we eliminate positions and save some money, that's great. Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Gee.
Me neither.
none.
Okay.
Have a great day, Melissa.
I thank you all.
Take it
Okay,
easy.
have a good day.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Next, you got surrogate.
That's book 1.
County Surrogate is Book 1, Section 5, page 140.
Hold on, is it, book 1, section 5. Got it. Okay, thank you. So I had a question about this. When we look at the chart,
Can we make sure we unmute the person first?
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Who's on from the surrogate's office?
Usually Linda shows up, but I don't know.
Can the person raise their hand, whoever's there from the surrogate?
I see Jimmy Summers is on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Linda's on.
Are there, I see there's 2 vacancies Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and the intention on trying to fill those during the year?
We're not trying to fill them right at this particular time due to the position of the county right now. But we want to hold them for future reference.
Okay, and when I look at the executive's budget analysis or overview, it looked like there were like 19 employees.
I'm 20 with the surrogate, yes.
Okay, and do you think that's sufficient to service the needs of the office?
Presently, we're holding our own and doing what we need to do, yes.
Okay, all right.
So though you requested to budget them for 6 months, the county approved them for 3 months. And are you looking to fill them before the end of the year or no?
Not at this time now.
And so if they were taken out, you wouldn't care.
Eventually, we're probably going to need them, yes.
But you can do them next year. I mean, if they took out whatever, it's $20-something thousand, then that wouldn't.
I believe it's budgeted for 1 month, I believe. I think that's what
It's 3 months here. Dave, is it 3 months or
That's
1?
correct. It's 3 months.
3 months, okay.
3 months.
Mona said.
All right. And that's a total of $24,800 that you could live without. All right. And then revenue wise, so last year you did 520?
522.
What did you do the year before?
In 23, we did approximately 500 even.
And then based on the first, was it 4 months of the year, you gave a number of 220. Is that through?
You extrapolate that.
Is that through April or May? Obviously, May's not over yet.
No, that would be commission. That would be the first 4 months. So it's roughly 4.5 months worth of activity.
So that's higher, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about year over year, month per month, but for on an annual basis, it's $50K a month. That would be 600,000.
Well, Commissioner, sometimes we have audits and the rate is quite high for that. So that's why this year we're higher than normal.
Hello?
I don't understand that. Okay, John, can you go through that again? You have audits and that's why?
Well, you got more
Yes.
money.
We charge more money for an audit. We did one audit, it was I believe it was total like $90,000 was the fee charged by us that was turned over to the county. That's why our revenues is higher at this point.
So what's the break in fees? What's the break between the state and the county on surrogates fees?
I believe it's all turned over to the county. I don't know what the county turns over to the state. The surrogate gets $2 per transaction. That's put into the surrogate special trust fund.
So if the surrogate cashier takes in $2 million, I'm making that number up, I don't know. How much of that goes to the county as opposed to how much goes to the state?
Like I said, I don't know what the breakup is. That John, do you know the breakup for that?
No, for the surrogate's office, not off the top of my head. I can get that information if you need the breakout allocation between the state, the county, and the surrogate's trust fund.
And one more question. The projections are projections for based upon the first 4 months of the year, this year.
Commission, there's no projections.
You just used last year's number, right?
Well, that's just number. Okay.
Correct. So really the anticipated number is based off last year's realized.
Last year's number. Okay.
So last year's realized was around 522,000 and we're anticipating 520. It seems to be in line with what they've collected the past several years, around the $500,000 mark.
So that's the projection for this calendar year.
They'll probably end up around that mark. Yeah.
$50,000.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay, my apologies. There's something wrong with the county system into my laptop. I apologize to everyone. Where are we at?
We're up to the sheriff now.
What about did we get to what's his name? Board of Elections? I want to do him next. Because he has to meet with poll workers. So let's get the Board of Elections up next.
Where is that? Where is it?
Are we
Michael
done?
Hopper, you on?
Hold on. What was that?
Excuse me, Chairman, are you done with the surrogate's office?
Excuse me, I have the court reporter saying we have to highlight who's speaking or at least say out loud who you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, my apologies. Does anybody finish? Is everybody finished with the surrogate? Al, Bill, any questions?
Yeah, he said we could cut 24,800 from his budget.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on then?
Yes.
Okay, go to the Board of Elections. He has to meet up with poll workers. So
All
bring
right,
him in.
Chairman, Board of Elections is located in Book 1, Section 6, starting on page 177.
Okay. Is Michael Hopper on?
Commissioners, I apologize for that glare. I'm trying to.
Sorry,
Better?
Dude, what, book one, what?
I don't have the right number.
Well,
Board
page
of Elections.
177. 177.
What tab is it? I have
Section 6.
Section 6. All right, it's in the back.
Yeah.
What book? I'm sorry.
Book
Volume
1,
one,
Book 1, 5 in the back section.
the tab.
Section
Behind the
6.
sheriff, yeah, it's behind.
5,
6, Commissioner Sefeli.
6. I see regulation sheriff's office.
Yeah, you got to go further back. Look for page 177.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I don't want to delay you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Michael.
Commissioner, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners. As you know, the Board of Elections is an autonomous body, oversees certain aspects of the voting process, including but not limited to the hiring and training of the poll workers, the choosing of polling places, and the counting of all paper ballots, both provisional vote by mail and emergency. Our budget always remains relatively consistent. There's very little discretionary. As I noted to you guys in our memo, we recently entered into that agreement with the Department of Justice regarding the polling place accessibility, ADA accessibility. And guys, just briefly, it's tough maintaining modern accessibility standards in an older urban county. We have a lot of older urban buildings, especially our public buildings. So we're just completing our first round of really updated investigation in each of these. It will require an expenditure, a significant expenditure in that initially for all the types of ramps, remote call bells, and things that will make us meet the DOJ standard. Luckily, all of that, 100% of that is reimbursable. I would like to, I will be recommending my board put in our budget moving forward 3,000 to 5,000, not a large number, but something like an upkeep number. But this first hit of this is going to be a lot because it's going to encompass the whole county. And this we need something, no single major expenses, but we need something in almost every polling place: a sidewalk mat here, a call bell here, a ramp here. That's what I have. Certainly, any questions?
Well, let me ask you a silly question. We're paying for those things. How many of them are public buildings that should have them already?
The vast majority are public buildings. But again, now you're talking the difference between permanent and temporary. There's election money out there, Commissioner, for permanent fixes too. I'm talking about our schools in Jersey City, where a lot of them, have have big staircases out front that the entire neighborhood enters into. Usually in places like that, there's a handicap accessible entrance somewhere along the building. One of our issues is, Commissioner, if I showed you the DOJ's initial complaints, they go from the absurd to the ridiculous, like sidewalk slopes and things that really, no one's complaining about. So these buildings aren't being, these buildings are all up to standard as far as meeting what they need to do every day. But on election day, especially federal elections, we are held to a different standard, the most up-to-date ADA standard.
And you have no new staff people, correct?
I have an opening, a principal election clerk. That's Judy Mangine, who you guys may remember, retired just earlier this year. Been with us for a bunch of years. So that position we are in the process of filling.
But that was in the budget listed as an active title, not as a vacant, right?
Correct. Yeah. I didn't know she was gonna
Wow.
Enlarge this.
Commissioner Rodriguez, how are you?
Yes, I'm here. I had a horrible time with the computer. Walt is on the other line with me. He knows. He knows what I'm going through. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you, Walt. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so hopefully my computer will stay put.
Michael, go
I
ahead.
don't have any more questions.
Billy, any more questions? Anybody?
Nope.
All right. Did we do the superintendent of schools already?
Yes.
All right. What was anything of?
No, they eliminated jobs, so that was a very short meeting.
Good. Okay. Since we did the board, want to get the superintendent of elections up next, please?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Superintendent of Elections is Book 1,
Right.
Section 6, page 188.
Okay. Okay, go, Miss Kelleher. Mrs. Kelleher. Hello,
And Mary Ann is on?
Mary Ann, you on? Hello, Mary Ann, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now we can. Go ahead, Mayor. Make your presentation.
All right. Good afternoon, commissioners. So I sent you a pretty fulsome memo outlining what we've accomplished in the last year. We had a couple of high goals, increased voter education, increased efficiency, and keeping pace with current election technologies, and cross-training. So increased voter education, in my view, begins internally with clear communications within the team and with additional training. So by having the most educated workforce possible, we equip our team with the best tools available so that when they're called by the public, they can better inform and navigate people to the services they need. So got into great detail in the memorandum here if you have any questions. I can't get the...
Please note that Commissioner Pontilivski just joined us.
Okay, questions of any commissioners for Mary Ann Kelleher?
You have 3 vacancies. What, if any, are your plans to fill them or not fill them this year?
So actually but I spoke to John Inagaki earlier. So actually those vacancies, there is only one vacancy currently that exists, and that is the deputy position. The 2 vacancies were filled earlier this year. And those were 2 individuals who left, one to pursue law school, and another who was on a long-term sick leave, but we are at full staff with the exception of a deputy.
So you only have one. So what is your
There it is.
pretty low salary for a deputy superintendent? Do you have any plans to fill it or any need to fill?
That is an appointment that would come through the governor.
So you have nothing to do with it. It either
No,
gets
sir.
done or doesn't get done, right?
Correct.
How long has it been vacant?
Well, technically the previous superintendent was serving in an acting capacity. You may recall that,
Yeah.
John Brzezowski. So, I mean, I filled his vacancy last year in a appointed capacity. So I would say 9 years.
Wow.
So the
Okay.
office has been run by one person for 10 years, 9 years, 10 years, although I shouldn't say that. Great team here.
But I assume just statutorily, since it's a gubernatorial appointment, we couldn't take it out of the budget if we wanted.
No, every year it's been budgeted for. I've looked at the historic budget, so every year a superintendent and a deputy is budgeted for.
That's the only questions I got. No question.
Back to the, looking at the spreadsheet, it says there are 3 vacancies, but I think you commented that 2 of them have been filled, but I kind of lost you there because 2 of the people that left, one of whom went to law school, and then, but so the employee count of 3 were vacancies is incorrect, that it should only be 1?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Anybody? Your Ryder, Jerry? Carrie? Okay. Billy and Al, you finished there?
Yeah, I'm good. We good.
Okay. Let's go next to we'll leave the law enforcement for later. Cultural and Heritage Affairs. Get them up.
Book number.
Culture and Heritage Affairs are in Book 1,
Mhm.
Section 2, starting on page 45.
Director Ewlings, when you're ready.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the office has been able to meet all targeted goals for the year so far and working on projected goals for its 8 branches, including the following highlights. Cultural events so far year to date, we've had 15. We've got 3 next week and a total of 32 events slated for the remainder of the year, not including our exhibits. We've established a successful 2024-2025 sports and education pilot program and combine, reaching over 250 students in 10 schools and 8 municipalities. We also established our 2025-2026 largest to date arts and education program, reaching 43 schools, 48 programs, 21 organizations in 8 municipalities. Also establishing in 2025 our largest to date local arts program with 49 programs. And this is the same funding as we have received for the past 3 years. This year we also launched monthly exhibits in the Brennan Courthouse Rotunda. So 12 exhibits, 1 per month. For tourism development, we've worked strategically on our marketing campaigns that have helped Hudson County become the #1 fastest growing county in the state, in the entire state of New Jersey, with 8.57 million visitors, an increase of 6.2, which has spent a total of $2.8 billion while visiting our county.
Please leave your message for 9-7.
All right.
Okay, our Visit Hudson website and social media have increased up 31% in the past 12 months. We've also established a more streamlined approach to film and television requests, becoming film ready in New Jersey, with revenue potential of an expected $150,000 for this year versus $67,000 last year. And basically all of this was accomplished with a decrease in operating budget of minus 3.6% year over year. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Al.
So I'm looking at the active titles by department, and I see where your office as the director, your salary is $189,721, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then I see under that there's a special events programmer at 78,000, a programmer development specialist at 62,000. Then there's a tourism representative at 100. That's 2. So I'm assuming that each of those positions were $89,367. Who fills those right now? Are they all filled?
Every position is filled for our office.
Is there no overlap between it among the special coordinator of events, the tourism representative #1, tourism #2, tourism #3?
So no, there's no overlap. Those are the civil service titles. And the way we have it broken out in the office is So essentially, we have for tourism representative, director of marketing for tourism and events. And then tourism representative 2 is handling all of our branding and, social media content, et cetera. The program coordinator for special events and assistant program coordinator. So essentially, one is handling the larger, there's only 2 people doing over 32 events for the county. So, it's necessary. There's no overlap there. They're just, one is supporting the other. And then with respect to, I don't remember the other titles you mentioned, but there's little to no overlap. If anything, we're doing quite a bit with the 12 people we have in the office.
Who are the 2 people that are tourism representative 1 title? And are their salaries the same, or what are are there differences in their salaries?
There are differences in the salaries. There's a difference in each salary for those representatives as their different descriptions.
So who are the 2 people under tourism representative 1, and then what are each of their salaries?
Sure, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So we've got Margaret Kelly under Tourism Representative 1, Kimberly Ferrier under Tourism Representative 2, and Christian Hurtado under Tourism Representative 3.
You have 2 under tourism representative 1 listed in the book anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel McGee under Tourism Representative 1.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought Miss Kelly was.
There are 2
2 of them, Al, 2.
people that hold that title.
Under number 1.
Correct.
I see, repertory. And so does Miss Kelly, and who's the other one?
Rachel McGee.
And do they make exactly the same amount of money?
No, they do not.
What are the breakdowns?
95,240.
Is Kelly?
Yes.
And then the balance would be, my math is lousy, but what would the balance be for McGee?
84,495.
Has one been an employee longer than the other?
Yes, along with experience and education.
Can we just get copies of the job descriptions for all tourism rep 1, 2, and 3?
Sure, absolutely.
We're good.
And their civil service titles, Gina?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Gina?
I'll wait till I see what Bill's asked for. We'll come back. Okay.
Okay, Gina, get them to us for tomorrow, okay, please?
Sure, no problem.
All right. Let's do next the law department. Law department.
Law Department is located in Book 1, Section 2, and it starts on page 15.
Alberico?
Yes. Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. How are you all today?
Good.
So as highlighted in the memo, I pretty much included the information that is relevant to our operations. Obviously, if there's any specific questions, we're currently evaluating the office under the transition. So we're doing well in these last couple of weeks, but obviously it'll take some time to analyze any internal processes and things of that matter. But obviously, any questions that any of the commissioners may have, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Commissioners? Go ahead, Bill.
So one thing you have is listed as salary increments, 144,000. of which it looks like was funded at 50% of a year or 72,000. What is the purpose of that?
John, I actually, John is trying to answer that.
I apologize. I had myself on mute. Commissioner O'Day, I'll answer that question. Salary increments is a line that you'll find on every account's salary and wage summary page. It's basically where we allocate the funds. You know how most of the county employees get an increase on July 1st? So that's where those funds are allocated. The reason you see 144 versus 72 is in the case of the law department, all their employees get their increase on July 1st. So 144 would be the annual effect if it were January 1st. 72 is the actual effect since it takes effect on July 1st. You'll see that on every department's S&W page.
But so how does that justify, or how does that work with the fact that the board, I guess everybody on the board except me, voted for retro salary increase that would go back not only to January 1, but July 1 of last year? Where would those dollars for that be found?
So the ones for 2025 are calculated within that summary page. And the ones retro to that, to 2024, those are charged to the appropriation reserves.
So your reserve fund is funding the increases both for the last whatever months of, I guess, 6 months of last year and the first 6 months of this year.
Correct.
Do you have an idea for what that total number is?
Specifically
to cover that, to cover the first 6 months of this year for all the retro increases.
We would have to pull that number, and it would depend.
Can you let us know that tomorrow? I'd just be curious to. I would just be curious to see how much that.
Yeah, we could pull
that alone. That alone.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Al.
I'm looking at page 20. So the investigator is one title, and that's filled, and that investigative salary is 134 and change. I think I know who the investigator is, but then I go down to program monitor. It's the exact salary. Who's the program monitor, and what does that job entail?
I'm looking at the same page you're looking at. I don't know if that is incorrect. I'd have to look into that and get back to you because you, like you said, Commissioner, it's the same exact numbers. And I know obviously who our investigator is.
Commissioner Cifelli, if I may answer that, Alberico.
Sure.
The program monitor there, that's Dan McMahon. He's in charge of the Office of Scanning. I forget the name of the full name of the office, but
Sorry, who is it?
It's
Dan McMahon.
Right.
Yeah,
Dan McMahon, and Commissioner, he is his official title is he's in charge of the Office of Document Management, which is our archiving, scanning.
He archives all the documents.
Correct. That is
He's
correct.
an IT guy, essentially.
Correct.
And where is he physically based out of?
He is physically in Secaucus now.
Okay. Where?
At Meadowview.
Is there any reason why? Seems remote. How many other employees do you have in your department that are in Secaucus?
I believe it's only his two of his other employees. So he was before up until I believe a couple of months ago in the second floor, and now his operations are there, and I believe it's also better for space purposes and location of documents.
Can you confirm that, Alberico, for next meeting? That's the reason he's out there?
Sure, no problem.
And what are the job titles of the other two people that are out there?
Commissioner, he's in the archive building. That's where he's located. There's an archive building. There's an archive building in the Secaucus. It's pretty large, and there are county records there.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Commissioner O'Day, you were speaking.
Who are the other two job titles that are out there with him?
So the other two.
Record support technician.
Just give me 1 second. I'll tell you right now.
3 of those.
Just give me a second. I have that right here.
Well, there's 3 of those, right?
Yeah,
There's 3.
I would assume they're with him.
There's 2 people out there.
Yeah, the two titles of the persons that are there, if you just give me 1 second. Records support technician 1, that's actually both of them. There's the 2 record support technician 1s.
Well, there's 2 of those. There's 3 of those, right?
There's 3 listed here.
Correct. Two are physically with him there, and 1 is physically here in the law department on the 4th floor.
Why is 1 there and 2 in the? Why do you have 1 and not? Why are they not all out there?
Because she's the other employee that's here is also serving as our receptionist, so doing both of those.
Come on, that means they're the receptionists. They're not doing record support tech work.
Oh no, they are, Commissioner. That she is doing both. She has all the machinery that she needs here, so she is doing both.
Who's getting paid for 2 titles?
At the moment, I don't think there has been any change at the moment, but I'm sure that will be addressed.
But I mean, is that if she's getting paid, is she one of the paralegals or the legal secretaries I see?
No.
Okay, she's not. So the woman who does that, man or woman who does that,
correct.
They're operating under one of these titles, or
they are currently
wearing 2 hats.
They are one of the 3 record support technicians. This only happened about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So that will be it is in the process of being addressed, obviously.
And what do you mean by addressed? Do you mean that they're going to knock that down from 3 to 2?
No, she's going to continue operating for the office of Mr. McMahon, but she's also going to be she's taking on additional duties, and therefore that will be addressed with obviously personnel and taking care of the additional duties.
I mean, there'll be additional compensation. Is that what you're suggesting?
I think that would be fair. And again, this only happened in the last 2 weeks, therefore it's not in the current budget that you have in front of you, but that is obviously going to be addressed. It's only it would only be fair for the additional duties that are being taken by the individual.
Okay. Anything else for Alberico?
Hospital credit investigator. What functions does that person perform?
That person is, Commissioner, out of the adjuster's office. So that is related to investigations for patients that are serviced by the adjuster's office. So making sure that the bills are being paid correctly and that the individual is the correct person that the county will be paying services for. So it's an important position under the adjuster's office.
And then of your vacant positions, they're funded for deputy county counsel. Was that your former title?
There were 2 up until I believe May of last year. Again, Commissioner, as I stated at the beginning, any of the vacancies in this period of transition, we're going to figure out what is necessary and what is not. So at this juncture, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. But at this moment, the way that the department is functioning, we're making do, and we will visit that as we continue to get acclimated with the transition.
Because that's potentially like $86,675.
Understood. Obviously,
you don't need to fill that, right? So.
At this moment, we don't have to. Last year, we were operating also under 1 deputy, as you said, Commissioner. That was my position previously. So if it's obviously a position that at the moment, if it's to save money, I understand that. But I think it would be fair, just as we transition and figure out the vacancies, it's definitely something that we will look at and get back to you. I
We
just
would
want-
try to save money during transitions.
It would definitely be in line with what we're trying to do here at the county. That's for sure.
You would take,
And I want to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
you would be taking on more responsibilities as the director of the law department, and you would be assuming some of the duties that maybe one of the deputy or senior deputies would have otherwise been in charge of.
That's what we did. That's what we did last year, Commissioner. In fact, I was given more responsibilities because I took on some of the responsibilities of the deputy that retired. So that is a correct statement. And also, I believe that we have several capable persons that are ready right now. We've delegated duties to several of the other titled attorneys here in order to help. And that is really contributing to continuing the status quo of making sure that the law department continues to operate the way that it has been. And so we've been delegating it, and the teamwork is really allowing the workflow to go forward in the right fashion. And I wanted to also highlight, like I did in the memo, every of the law department is operating under a 5.5% decrease, and several of the subunits of the law department are operating even less than that. So we wanted to highlight that we've brought our budget down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, who manages all the outside counsel?
In what sense, as managing Commissioner? Just to
Oversees what they do, make sure that they're not overbilling us, making sure the cases that they're working on are
things that you're.
I'm sorry, could I finish, please? Making sure that the cases they're working on are proceeding in an expeditious manner.
Absolutely, Commissioner. Excellent question. As it relates to the litigation, since last year, it was always myself and County Counsel, Don Batista, that would review everything. We would be involved in every major communication with strategies on those types of matters. The billing is reviewed. So on the litigation matters, right now would be myself and our deputy, Rihanna Garcia. There are also the other types of outside counsel work. It all comes, if I'm not mistaken, almost all of it comes through the law department, the billing, and it is reviewed. And obviously before it is paid, it is reviewed for accuracy. But the most important thing besides that is that we are kept updated of all of the outside matters because they are assigned by the law department, the litigation matters. And so we assign them, we review the billing, but we also are involved in the daily operations and strategies of and being made sure that we're being kept updated on what they are doing on all the cases, including review of proposed pleadings that they will file in court. They always run them by us as well.
Okay, thank you.
So lawyer to lawyer, you believe that you have a control over a possible abuse that we lawyers call churning a case. You're pretty well on top of that, so that doesn't happen, right?
Absolutely, that Commissioner, as you said, as fellow officers of the court, that is, and as a member of the ethics committee that I'm on.
I'm on the ethics committee too. I know.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right. We make sure that we are not being abused by outside counsels on their billing. Very important.
All right, thank you, Alberico.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, administration and county executive.
Whoa! I have one more question. Wait.
Go ahead, Bill.
The reduction of the public safety training center of 17.7%. What do you attribute that to? Or
well, by going by looking at their line items, I'll tell you right now, Commissioner, what it was. So there is a reduction in new equipment because I believe from the previous year they were able to stock up, for lack of better terminology, on what they needed. The other decline in The other reduction in the budget was office supplies of $1,000, but that was worth 10%. And the other major one was a 25% reduction in MIS technology, small equipment and supplies. So it's really only related to office supplies and equipment that they had already stocked up on in the previous year.
It's not that big of a deal after all.
In what sense?
Well, I mean, when you cut that much, usually you cut staff, you're able to do, 5 people now is done by 4 people or 3 people, not you bought all the equipment you needed last year, so you don't need any equipment this year.
Right. They've stocked up and are. It's not like they didn't put 0 for this year on new equipment.
Right.
The reduction of almost 50% is because they don't need as much as they needed the previous year, and they're stocked up for what their operations need.
Okay.
A question, Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Just one question. Rico.
Yes.
At the clerks on your active titles, first page, clerk, page 19.
Page 19. 1 second, Commissioner.
2 of them at 95,039.
Almost there. Okay, page 19. Sorry, what was that, Commissioner, on page 19?
In the middle of the page, it says clerk, 2 of them 95,039.
Yes.
Are they? And I see that there's longevity, so they've been there a while. We've been having conversations a lot about parity and making sure employees are getting a living wage. I see that. Are those split 47.5 each?
Not exactly that, but close enough. And actually, that is those are several of the individuals that we definitely want to revisit very shortly after these hearings. We want to make sure, in this transition, that's one of the titles that I've looked at, especially listening in on recent conversations, which are very important and valid conversations. So those are definitely titles that have to be looked at as well. And like you said, Commissioner, the longevity is another important factor in that determination. So it's definitely something I would like to look at.
They're both clerk titles, and then right underneath that, you have clerk bilingual. And the
Correct.
clerk bilingual is making less than a regular clerk.
So,
and again, I'm just trying for parity because
no, I have that.
I don't know. Their longevity is 500, so I'm assuming they were all around the same time. Just to take a look at that at some point in time.
Yeah, it's actually those 3 titles and those 3 individuals are part of the list that I would like to revisit. And the only reason why to answer your question, Commissioner, the bilingual is slightly less, and again, it's literally slightly less, is because of the other clerk has way more years than in longevity.
I figured that. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Go next to administration and county executive.
Administration is located in Book 1. County Administrator is Book 1, Section 2, starting on page 52. And County Executive, same section, but starting on page 39.
Dave?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. David Drummeller, Deputy County Administrator. If you look at our budget, we have kept our budget flat. We have no increases that we've asked for in our budget, and we are proceeding along with what we have been going forward with. We have no new programs in the budget. And I can answer any questions anybody might have.
Who gets a vehicle allowance?
We either get a vehicle allowance or a county car, and I believe that vehicle allowance actually John, do you have who that's assigned to?
That may be Michelle Richardson.
Oh, yes, Michelle Richardson.
She's under the HCIA.
Yeah.
She's part of the EDC, but she is in our budget, Commissioner. She's our employee.
So she's a government employee, not under the EDC.
She's assigned to EDC, Commissioner.
Why is that?
That is how it's been historically. Since she's gone to the EDC.
Commissioner, when we reorganized, she was assigned to our department, and she functions as the executive director of the EDC. But she is an employee of the county administrator's office, and we administratively assign her once she was selected as the executive director of the EDC.
I mean, if you fired her, they'd have no director. They have no control over who the director would be. Right?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, can you repeat that? I didn't understand.
Conceptually, she works for you, so
Yes.
you could fire her tomorrow. Even though she reports to a board of directors of a non-for-profit entity.
Well, I don't think we wouldn't take that. First
No,
of all, I don't have the authority. I don't have the authority to fire her. So,
but the county exec would, right? And I'm speaking in hypotheticals. I don't want to.
All right.
I don't want to create some kind of a misrepresentation that I'll get a phone call tomorrow.
Right.
Just trying to understand something that's just kind of
You wouldn't want to do that. Go ahead,
a
Phil.
bit of an anomaly. That's all. And why was it determined that they would get? Did she have a vehicle allowance before when she was a department director?
Yes.
I believe she did, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay. So that carried over.
That's been in our budget since I've come back to the county, Commissioner, and I've been presenting the budget.
And is the increases that are given out percentage wise to I guess, union staff, the stuff that was voted on, that falls under her, even though she is at EDC, so they don't look at evaluating what her salary increase should be.
Yeah, she falls under us, Commissioner. You're correct.
Okay. And where now is Don is now under you, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
What's his job title?
Attorney.
Okay. Who's your program monitor?
That's my assistant, Anna Lloyd.
No, the program monitor, I think that's Vanessa.
You're right. Vanessa is the program monitor. The secretary of the department is my assistant.
He's got some of the biggest salaries, but I guess you earn them.
What's that salary? I'm sorry, I lost my place in the budget book. Program monitor, county executive's office, right?
Yes.
That's tab
No,
two.
we're in the county
We're county
administrator.
administrator.
County
Tab 2,
administrator.
Al, tab 2 and book 1. Tab 2.
Tab 2 in book 1. All right, I'm
Page
here.
55.
Page 55. There's no page.
Who's the secretary to the department head?
That's my assistant.
Okay, that's your assistant. Okay.
And Vanessa is the program monitor. She's been here about 25 years, Commissioner.
55.
That's like your exec assistant, Abe.
Vanessa, yes.
That 414, that's 2 deputies, correct, Dave?
Yes.
Yes.
We're in the wrong business.
And I'm sorry, but I Dave, the two directors are you and Don Batista?
No.
Oscar Villas.
Oh, wow. So Oscar and Dave comprise the 414. And
yep.
All right. And
Michelle is the EDC at the 192.
And the monitor is who? At 100,000 or 190?
It's Vanessa. She's been there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So have I.
And they're just a little less than you and me. You're correct.
You're right. We're about the
years.
same, Billy.
Couple
So,
years.
all right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Dave, you're lucky we like you.
Alberico got a pass because Bill likes him. Finance next. Cheryl Fuller. Where's Cheryl Fuller?
We
Finance.
need to do the county exec first. Yeah, do
Oh, county exec. That's right. I'm sorry. County exec.
Is that?
People we don't like.
I can also present that. That follows a similar vein. With
So the county exec's not going to be here. You're standing in the county executive spot.
I am, as I usually do, Commissioner.
Yeah, and what page is that?
I'm on, just in case, but I'll
Page
defer
39.
everything to Dave.
Just trying to go to the page.
39, page 39.
39.
Okay, Dave, go ahead.
Again, we'll go back to what I was saying, pretty much the same as our office. There are nothing new here, nothing, their budgets remain relatively flat. And, you know, that there's not a whole lot to see in that budget.
Nothing here to look at. Just move on.
Who's the attorney there?
Yeah, that's what we asked the same question. Who's the attorney?
I believe Joe Wax, that's his civil service title.
Yeah.
What?
I believe that's Joe Wax, his civil service title.
I haven't seen Joe Wax at a meeting in 2 years.
He's been there for the past 4 months.
He's what?
He's a tall guy, tall, thin.
I know who he is, but I never see him.
Yeah, he was there Thursday.
What job does he do that the county council doesn't do?
He's not an attorney for us. He works in communications with us, but his title, civil service, Dave, is attorney, right?
Yes, it's a civil service unclassified position.
I have a lot of questions during your during the public hearing. During the public hearing. Have any of these titles been brought on since January or no?
Dave or Jenny, want to answer that?
What do you mean titles been brought on? I'm not sure. I don't understand the question.
Since Craig became the county exec, obviously you came on as chief of staff. Craig became the county
I came on, Julietta came on, Julietta left, so Julietta was gone, right? So I came on, Julietta came on, Julietta left. Julietta was out of there, right? So that's gone. And then Joe was already in and just moved over. Joe was already in.
So Joe changed his title. Okay.
That's it.
Anyone else, like assistant public information officer, public information specialist?
Well, I hired a comms director and a person in the very beginning, Bill.
But that was in the 2024.
That was in 2020. That was the old budget. That wasn't this year.
Yeah, nothing's increased in this budget.
Yeah.
So in 2024, the public information officer assistant came in?
Yes.
Which title is Kennelly's?
Dave has to answer that. I actually don't know. Sorry.
Information officer, no?
I don't know.
Give me 1 second here.
You got a director of policy and communication, then you've got information officer. So Kennelly's been here long enough to get longevity.
Put some names.
I'm gonna get back to you on that because I don't.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, but and then specialist trainee. I got 3 items under what I look like it's the same category. Director of Policy and Communication. Then we have Public Information Officer. Then we have Public Information Specialist Trainee. So among those 3, my math is lousy, but it's looking like 260, I don't know, so $300,000. I don't have a calculator in front of me, so
I'm not sure what you're referring to. I have to defer.
I'll tell you,
it's the same people.
I'm looking at page 42, and I'm looking at
page 42. Director of Communication and Policy.
Yep, and then
Public Information Officer and Public.
That was last year. That was last year,
You know
right?
what? All these individuals were here a year ago, right?
Yes.
None of them are new.
So there's eliminated now, or what? I don't.
No.
No, they're remaining.
They're carryover from last year, Al. No new
So,
title.
so the salaries among the three of those titles is what? 130, 123. So that's 230. My math is lousy. 260, and another is 67. So $300,000 roughly. What do they do differently? What's their duties? How are they different among the three of them? Can you get back to me?
One is a press secretary, one is a communications director, and one is a senior advisor of policy.
I know that's the title, but what's the daily function? How does one not do what the other one does?
So the press secretary is a person, if you've ever seen a media shop, think of a media assistant, a media associate, and a comms director. The press secretary is the media assistant. That's the person who pitches and calls and writes the press releases, drafts, all that stuff. The comms director is the bigger picture person. And Joe Wax is senior policy and communications. He has the DC and the legislative background with Trenton to be a larger intergovernmental person / communications person with the differing agencies we work with in the federal government, state government, and local government.
With all due respect, I'm getting a weave here. So, all right, we'll come back on this. Okay.
Yeah, and I got a question on him, but I'll ask it offline. I think I know the answer to it, but I'm going to ask it offline.
Yeah. All right, Bill.
Okay. Any other questions?
But I understand when people's titles don't necessarily fit what they do.
Okay. We got for finance, Cheryl. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. Chairman, I'll be representing the Department of Finance. Department of Finance is located in Book 1, Section 3, starting on page 59.
Okay. What's the matter? You're right. Are you all right?
I lost the freaking screen and I've been going crazy trying to look
Well, we
for
see you and we hear you, so that's a good thing. We see you and hear you. Don't worry, I didn't even get the email.
That's the worst thing going on in your life. You got a great life. You're right.
Okay. Who's
Commissioner.
representing Cheryl? John?
Yes.
Yes, Chairman.
Go get him.
All right, so the Department of Finance consists of the following divisions and offices: as the Director's Office, the Budget Office, which is within the Director's Office, the Division of Accounts and Controls, Division of Information Technologies, Division of Personnel, Division of Purchasing, Division of Tax Assessments, and the Office of Grants Management. I included a memo that I sent to the commissioners that describes all the vacancies. There are no new positions in this budget. For most of our departments, OE expenses, we kept it flat or we made a cut. If there was an increase, we described them there. So if you have any specific questions, I can go through each division and office.
I think if you could just let us ask questions.
Yeah, that'd be the best thing. Go ahead, Billy. Start it off.
So under Division of Accounts and Control, you have a vehicle allowance and a phone allowance, and under the Division of Purchasing, you have the same. Who are those individuals? One's
So
only paid money.
the vehicle and phone allowance, that's for our Division Chief of Accounts and Controls. And the vehicle and phone allowance and purchasing, that would be for the purchasing agent, which is treated the same as a Division Chief.
question on that before you go. I thought from Abe, all county phones were removed, and I thought we don't have a purchasing agent right now.
No, we do, Commissioner. Christine Morrow is still functioning as the purchasing agent.
So, are you telling me that there's a policy that if you're a division director, you are either A, entitled to a county vehicle, or B, entitled to get $600 a month in lieu of a county vehicle? Is that a policy?
Yes,
Any division director?
yes.
Well, that's one policy when you can save money. I don't know how is that determined? How many division directors are there countywide? You don't have to answer that now. If you can figure that out for me. $600 a month is a pretty damn good vehicle allowance. As long as you don't give commissioners vehicle allowances. Right, Abe? Silence is golden. Well, we'll get to ourselves at some point in the budget process anyway. All right, look, those are, I mean, your memo was pretty substantial. Yeah. So you also have, I guess, seasonal staff. What is that for?
Seasonal staff, that's typically if we hire like high school or college interns. We don't
Like summer
necessarily do that
interns.
every year, but
Yeah.
And then how do you have overtime in like purchasing? What is
that's incidental.
Union employees?
No, it's very rarely incurred. In fact, I don't believe we've incurred overtime in purchasing. That's just there in case the need ever comes up. I don't believe it's a high number.
It's like $5,000, but again, that should only be needed if it's a non-management. You don't pay overtime to management, do you?
No, no. And from what I recall, we haven't paid overtime in purchasing in several years.
My parting comment is in Cheryl Fuller, I trust. So I have no questions.
Yeah. I just have that other question, though. I'm confused, Gabe. We were told that Christine is not the purchasing agent anymore.
No,
Is
that
she?
changed, Commissioner. You're right. At one point, you are correct, but then that changed, and now she is.
Okay, so she's back. She'll be on the meetings on Zoom or in person.
She has been. She has been, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Gary, Dad, unmute yourself. She wants
Go
to.
ahead, Gary.
I can attest for Christine being at the meetings. That's all I want to say. To me, she's the purchasing director.
Good. I'm glad we got it straightened out. Thank you. Okay, any questions? We'll go on now to the sheriff.
Sheriff's office is located in Book 1, Section 6, starting on page 154.
Okay. I'm assuming Sheriff Shalari's on.
What is it? What's the page in 6? 154?
154 it starts, Billy.
158 starts the tables.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. It's Frank Alonso, Director of Weights and Measures, as well as Tricia McLorraine, Chief Clerk, and Richard Cyrus from Personnel representing the Sheriff's Office. We submitted our memo with our accomplishments and breakdowns and goals. Here waiting for your questions.
Well, who's going to answer law enforcement questions, Frank?
We have no representation right now, Chairman. I'm sorry. We can take the question and get them back to you.
So like you have 5 vehicle allowances. Who are those 5 people?
Rich, do you want to answer that question? Commissioner, I'll take the question and get back to you, sir.
Okay.
Well, let's do it this. If we can't have answers to
Can
the
you guys
question,
hear me?
yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Okay.
Please identify yourself for the court reporter.
Rich Sires, personnel technician for the sheriff's office.
Thank
Okay, vehicle allowances, 5 people.
Yeah, so there's an update on that, Commissioner. We had one individual that resigned this year, so it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 of us that have the vehicle stipend.
But are you division directors? Like, what title did you fall under to qualify for a vehicle allowance?
Yeah, so we have the director of security, community relations. There's the sheriff's private clerk and myself,
Who's the sheriff's private clerk?
Thomas Gillen.
And what's the reason he has a vehicle?
He doesn't have one. He gets a vehicle allowance.
No, it's allowance.
Okay.
What's the reason? Same question, just a
Right.
different.
No, I agree. I don't.
I believe he's out. He's about. He does a lot of the sheriff's work, and he assists the sheriff and all the other stuff.
Abe, and this is just a general question. It's not asked for here. So in a lot of places, in lieu, rather than give it an allowance, right? People are given payment per mile, right? You get, if you justify the hours that you do during the workday, not from your house to work, but just during the workday, you get reimbursed for it. Have you ever looked at that? I mean, most of these people drive to the office. Not in this case. I'm not talking about at least the gentleman that was just mentioned, Tom Gillen, but they drive to their office, they sit in an office all day, and they drive home. And they get $70 to $100 a year, which is quite frankly more than their car payment. It's something to look at from a perspective of just saving money. I'm not sure anybody's going to leave if that happens.
Yeah, I think also a general statement, not just for the sheriff's department, but Abe, I think when Denise comes on board for her budget hearing, is there ever been a finalized list throughout all the departments who has what vehicles?
Denise has that, but when it comes to law enforcement, I don't believe she has access to that unless the sheriff has provided that information to her.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like the largest diff in this budget is the diff between an overtime budget request of 10.2 million and a budget of 8.2 million. So to date, how much has been billed through April for overtime?
John, can you answer that, please?
Yes, Commissioner, just give me 1 second.
I have the figure without the overtime, without the off-duty reimbursement, John. Up to payroll number 9.
1 second, I got it here. Yeah, go ahead. Give him that number.
436,392 thus far.
How much?
436,392.
For overtime? That's it?
On payroll number 9, that's the number we have.
Yeah, for payroll number 9 or through payroll number 9?
Yes, that's what I have. Up to payroll number 9. Yeah, but we're through payroll number 9.
So that would mean you're averaging about $50,000 per payroll.
No, Commissioner. No.
No.
What he gave you was what the overtime was for payroll number 9. Rich, what the commissioner was asking is what has been the overtime to date.
So, Commissioner, I have that number now. Payroll as of payroll 9, so the first 9 pays of the year has been 3,992,460.16. That's exclusive of outside duty.
All right, so if you there's 26
Yeah,
payroll.
that over the year.
If you multiply that by 3, you're at 12, almost 12 million. 11 to 12 million, correct?
Rough math, yeah.
I'll give you the exact math before we get to the budget.
And what was last year's budget for overtime?
What was the total expended last year, John?
Total expended last year, exclusive of outside duty, was $10,407,630.22.
So why do we think we can cut
If you
2 million?
extrapolate from the year to date forward, what does that project? Assuming no glitches, what's the increase in the overtime budget for 2025?
If you're doing the rough projection, you're looking at roughly 11
what?
11.5 for 2020.
1,500,000?
Yeah.
So you got a shortfall of 3 million in your budget.
Can I ask you a question with regards to the John, the 2024 number? With regards to the 2024 number, after the reimbursements, what's the overtime?
It's probably a little bit less than that, just because the reimbursements will come mostly from work with federal agencies, which roughly comes out to around $100,000 a year.
So what about the money that comes through welfare for the reimbursement on the overtime there?
That is actually included in there. That's the welfare security reimbursement, and that's roughly about 900,000.
Superior Court, do they pay any overtime for court staffing?
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
Does the state of New Jersey pay any portion of the sheriff's
No,
overtime?
no.
And I'm sorry, but why is that, since the Superior Court is not controlled by us, but they dictate how we have to staff the courtrooms?
The
And
state,
sometimes
the
there's a
state
lot
has
of
never
overtime.
paid us for that, Commissioner. Never.
If you're-
But to get
Authority for them to pay us.
What's that?
There's no legal authority for them to pay us.
I'm confused.
Any overtime incurred for the courts, the state of New Jersey does not reimburse any county for that overtime or for staffing the courts. That is the responsibility, that is the financial responsibility of the county.
Irrespective of the fact that the time, the employee hours that are dictated by the courts, by the judges, we don't have any control over that. That's the judge's decisions, or the state Supreme Court's decisions. But we can't pass that bill. They can make us staff the courts. And look, as a lawyer, I've been in court a lot of times after 4 o'clock, and the court officers are there until 6 o'clock sometimes, because that's the way the judges want it. So that's on our dime.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Billy, you had a question?
So to go back, yeah. So obviously last year you budgeted a little more than 7 million, close to 7.5 million in overtime. You paid out, according to the sheriff's document, a little over 9 million. You say the number is over 10 million, John. How do you explain that discrepancy?
Correct. I'm not sure if they're applying any other credits to that figure.
It says overtime without reimbursement.
Yeah. It says without reimbursement.
I can't say as to how they
Oh,
calculate.
well, yeah, well, we need to rectify that between the two. You guys can talk to each other. So 21 budgeted, actual exceeded. I'm going to guess when I get to corrections, I'm going to find the same thing. Same with 22, 23, 24. So are we just generally under budgeting it? And then how are you making up for what was 2 million last year Abe, and is projected at maybe 3 million this year.
Commissioner, if you recall, during the year, from November through March, we did budget transfers, and that's how we covered it.
But where? Where did you find that that's a significant amount of money?
John, I'll defer to you since you did the transfers.
We basically took it from a number of county departments. We just nickel and dimed every county department.
Okay. We don't have a fund anticipated. I guess when I get to corrections, I might have the same question.
So, another question. With respect to the overtime, I remember having a conversation about the Guarini. The sheriff's office was doing overtime at the new Guarini courthouse. Is that still happening? And how much was that per month?
I thought that wasn't happening anymore, Abe. Wasn't that cut a while ago?
You know, I'll have to defer to the sheriff on that because I don't know how he assigns the overtime or I can't answer that question.
Well, does anybody can answer that who's here representing the sheriff's department? Or do you need to come back tomorrow?
No need to get aggravated.
No, but I mean,
if not, we get the answers for next week.
Yeah.
I mean, for tomorrow. We have a meeting tomorrow. So whoever is here, I guess, Rich, can you get us that answer for that particular question tomorrow?
I can work on it. Sure.
Richie, can you also, I know that, and again, I have a little history because I was there for a while. The overtime is broken down by events. So could we get an idea of the big events that are creating this overtime? Parades, different festivals, all those types of things.
I'm sure we can get a breakdown of the events. I'm sure we can get a breakdown of the cost allocation for like senior community relations and stuff like that when they go do the events at the schools and stuff like that. Is that what you're looking for, Commissioner?
When I was there, we broke it out based on different events. My question always was, why is overtime? Again, why are we doing high overtime? I'm not from law enforcement originally, but I understand there were necessary, unnecessary, and mandated overtime. With that in mind, we developed different, I guess, data sheets to come up with why we were spending overtime in different areas. So I want you to go back and look at that and see if you can at least have some explanations as to what's creating the increase in overtime.
Can forward that to the guys that be able to look at that for sure.
Yeah. And Frankie, if you were Richie,
sorry, Bob. I'm sorry to step on your feet, but can I ask a question of Rich?
Sure, Commissioner.
Yeah. So in the gross overtime, I'll give you one example that I see several times a month or twice a month. I see sheriff's officers doing traffic control in Harrison for Red Bulls soccer games. My understanding, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, that the overtime that those sheriff's officers get is essentially paid by either the Red Bulls or the town, or the town pays it and the Red Bulls reimburse the town. There's another arrangement.
There's off-duty work. Yeah.
Is that built into overtime? The figure that we have here, is that part of in our budget? Is that part of the sheriff's office overtime bill?
So you'll look at there's for 2025 he has 3 columns there.
Yeah, I'm looking.
So you'll look at the first column. It'll be, let's just go for the first quarter. You'll see the 2.6 million.
I'm sorry, I don't.
First quarter total. First column of the sheriff's office overtime.
Sorry, first quarter total.
Go right across.
I'm sorry, I'm looking through.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yeah. I'm looking through. I don't see, what page is it? Can you enlighten me?
I don't know what page you're referring to, but I'm looking at the overtime that we received from finance.
Don't have that.
So without without you looking, I mean, what happens is that first quarter total,
Yeah.
we get reimbursed 115,000 for the off duty. And the Red Bulls out in Harrison would be included in that. And there are off duties everywhere across the county.
But just for my example, that money that the Red Bulls pays, they pay that directly to the county.
Right.
And
Yes.
does that offset the overtime that we're listing in the budget for your?
No, Commissioner, no.
That's outside
Commissioner.
employment, guys.
Yeah, that's
outside
outside
employment.
duty. There's
Oh,
a separate
got it
fee.
wrong.
So the answer is that the amount of money that the sheriff's officer pays, the sheriff pays, that isn't part of our budget. That's
No.
outside. Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's outside employment. We're getting
All right.
confused.
All right. That's not included in our overtime budget.
No.
Got you. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
go
look,
ahead.
just to be clear, I mean, there are things that I know I asked for, like with the parks, that certainly require overtime. My questions center around
That's on
how
our,
much is
that's on our,
budgeted and how much is realistically gonna
that's on our dime. I get it.
be spent, right?
But a big ticket item like the Red Bulls event or
Yeah.
some other big event in Jersey City, whether it's a golf tournament at the Liberty, the exclusive golf course,
Right.
where we may have traffic control or whatever.
No, Jersey City PD handles that, Al.
I mean,
All
just
right,
using
so
that
that's
as an example, not as a.
But my point is that number, the overtime number or special, that doesn't come to our budget. That's outside of our budget.
Right. That's
Okay.
outside
All right.
We got to chase the money. We got to chase it
Billy,
down.
Billy, any question? Any more on that?
John, in the
Go ahead. Go ahead, Bobby.
accurate. From my recollection, the overtime was the overtime, and then as we got reimbursed from PSE&G, the water companies, any of those type of off duties, didn't that come back into the budget to offset that overtime?
Yes, we apply that credit to the salary and wage line item sometime around October, November. So we apply 12 months of credits to that, but the number that's in here is net that.
Yes. Okay. So Chairman, just so
The number is net. Okay.
Go ahead,
So
Bob.
if J. Fletcher Creamer Construction is doing a road work somewhere and they're paying the sheriff's officers, but that payment gets netted out of our gross overtime.
Correct. It gets applied as a credit to the
All
sheriff's.
right. All right. Thank you.
Go ahead, Bobby.
no, that's accurate.
Okay. Any other questions there? And just get that answer for Commissioner Basilis with regards to the new building.
Will
All
do,
right.
Commissioner. Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, and then just as a global, in reading the memo, I mean, at some point in time, and I guess the opening of the court being as late in the year as it appears to be, but at some point in time, there's got to be a meeting of the minds as to what staffing needs there will be to staff that court. Because failure to do that could either A, jeopardize the safety of the individuals that work there, including judges and civilian staff, or secondly, result in a catastrophic overtime cost, which may not even be possible because there's most of the officers work days to begin with. The amount of officers on a non-day shift to begin with is small. So like there's got to be a meeting of the minds and a timeline to do that, right? We can't afford not to do that because the court will open. We can't delay the court from opening. And, I don't think that meeting of the minds has taken place. And in my opinion, it's certainly not reflective in this budget document.
Abe, can I ask
Right. That we have to come to an understanding with the state and the sheriff about how those expenses get paid. I agree with you.
I also think, I don't know if they're gonna be manning all the courtrooms over there. It's a pretty big building over there. And you guys have walked through them, or if the commissioners have walked through them. I definitely think of the meeting of the minds is definitely
We have a
required.
choice. I don't think it's honestly, it's not an option. A building is going to open. A building has to be staffed. It has to be staffed with uniformed officers that carry firearms for the safety and protection. Whether that requires 58 and currently we only have 43, or whether that requires 80 and we only have 50, people can sit in a room, figure it out, debate it, discuss it, include the state to the degree the state may need to be included. But time is running. The clock is ticking. Had the court opened in June, when we thought it was going to open, where the hell would we be now?
Where are we now with that? September, December? I don't.
I was told August, possibly.
Possibly.
We're not ready. If it opens in August, we're in trouble because we're not ready.
We're not ready. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
One more. Abe,
Okay, go ahead.
John, I've been trying to get an accurate number. How many courtrooms are in the new building?
24?
And the current building has how many?
Oh, I don't know.
Not Brennan, just
I know you mean the administration building plus Brennan.
so because again, it's going to take us between 9 months and a year to hire officers. So if we're opening up more courtrooms, we're going to have to figure out how to get more officers on. Did the state, I know the state came in, I've been asking this question, I haven't been able to get an answer. Did the state come in and tell us what they felt comfortable with regards to how many officers they want in that building? I mean, we need to plan for this. And my understanding is Judge Katz is hoping it opens up, we're opening up in September. And as the assignment judge, we should try and get it open by September. And I know Commissioner O'Day has been trying to get it so that we have a ribbon cutting for Mr. Guarini.
Okay.
We can't, but as Bob says, irrespective of whether the state says when, we have to be able to staff it properly, and the state has to tell us what their guidelines are. If I think there's 24 courtrooms, is that right?
Obviously, nobody has the answer, so
I just felt it was important to put it on the record.
No, you're right.
Budget that we should get a report prior to adopting the budget as to where that process is and what is the timeline to come to a resolution of it. If it's going to get resolved June 12th after the primary is over, fine, but we need to know it's going to get resolved.
And Abe, from what I was told by from Mass Construction, there's some issues they're still trying to figure out. So we'll do that when we talk to Denise tomorrow. We'll find out, get about that, correct?
Can I ask one question, and I don't expect anybody to answer this, but let's assume that my recollection is correct, that there will be 24 working courtrooms that go over all the divisions of the Superior Court. Does the state tell us what the security requirements are as far as how many security people, sheriff's officers, are required for each courtroom at each time? For example, in a criminal court, you may be required to have 2 officers. In a family court, maybe 1 officer. In a landlord-tenant court, maybe 1 officer. But if you have 24, what's the minimum? Because we need to build that into the budget because we have to pay these.
Al, they have a state gives you a court security plan that comes from the state.
That's what I want to know. Where is it, and how do we bring that into our budget?
Well, we'll have to get those answers. Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, we'll have to get those answers.
All right.
All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Corrections up.
Thank you.
Is that it? Corrections?
Corrections is next.
All right.
Corrections is Book 1,
Okay.
Section 7, starting on page 194.
Gotcha.
We have Becky.
Commissioners, just be aware that there's an updated memo included, I'm sorry, there's an updated organizational chart that's included in the memo that was sent out yesterday.
What page are we on with that now?
The new organizational chart is with the memo that was emailed yesterday.
No, but what we're on page 194, section 7, correct?
Correct, Chairman.
Okay, for the benefit of those who didn't get the memo, you tell us where the updates are, or that didn't get a chance to see the memo.
It would just be replacing page 195.
Okay, and is the director with you, I'm assuming?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Good, thank you. Okay, go ahead, start us off. Who wants questions about the corrections facility? Billy?
So overtime, unlike the sheriff, you budgeted based on last year's, almost what last year's annual was. Can you explain, and this may not be a Director Scott question, this may be a Abe Anton or John question, why in the instance of correction you budgeted based off actual in one instance and under budgeted by over 2 million in the other instance?
All right, Commissioner. Just the different nature of the facilities, with the Adult Correctional Center, considering the population count and the staffing issues there, we felt that the 11 million fire was probably more accurate given the current state of staffing at the Adult Correctional Center.
So wouldn't just naturally, I mean, it went up by from 11 to 11.8 last year then. Shouldn't you assume it's going to go up to 12.5 this year, or did you take a 9 into 4,300,000 and then multiply that by 26?
At the time, they're projecting now, as of payroll 9, to just crack 12 million. But that's, like you mentioned before, that's a third of the year. See where they end up.
And are we accepting the fact that this department will have $12 million a year in overtime all the time because they're not able to properly hire enough individuals to staff it to avoid that level of overtime? Have we come to that conclusion?
If I
Yeah, that would be a Director Scott question, I guess, more than an administrative question.
So to answer your question, yes, we will have a challenge in the hiring, but I want to add, it's not exclusively a hiring issue. It's also the availability of staff. So with the available staff that we have on our budget, the amount that are actually working, excluding OJI, FMLA, intermittent, and sick. So it's not exclusively a hiring issue.
So that question just begs the next question, which is you then have an operational overtime issue or amount that occurs irregardless of whether you staff and fill all your vacancies. Is that what you're representing?
Yes.
Right? So how much, if you're able to fully staff because you have a lot of vacancies, how much of that $12 million can be reduced or saved from that?
It's difficult. Fluid, the sick rate, the FMLA rate, and those different absences, they fluctuate. So it's hard to put an exact dollar amount on what that savings would be once we were fully staffed.
I mean, obviously you went from, let's say, 8 million in 2022 to 12 million or almost say just about 12 million last year. So is 8 million the number that you get back to, or can get back to? I mean, 20 and 21 is COVID, so I throw those low numbers out, right? But even in 2020, they budgeted over 8 million. So are we accepting? I mean, I'm not asking you. Don't. I mean, maybe it's hypothetical, but you could go back and look at it a little bit. Is $8 million a year in overtime a real number? No matter what you do, no matter how much you staff your agent, the department from correction or from COs, you're going to have that level on any given year, barring something abnormal like COVID, which reduces the population of the facility significantly.
We have specifically.
Okay, what do you mean?
It's kind of breaking up a lot. I can't hear it, man. Chairman.
Go ahead, Bill.
I know I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear the director's response.
Oh, I didn't hear it either. Becky. Beck. Hello. John, do you hear her or do we lose Becky?
No, she's having an audio problem, Commissioner. I'm not sure what the issue is.
Becky, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Yes.
we got you now. Go ahead.
Okay, you hear?
Yeah, Billy we didn't hear your response.
You hear the answer to that.
Okay, so Commissioner, to your point, I would be hesitant to lock in at a specific number of 8 million as a goal, only because the reasons of the drivers of the overtime fluctuate and there are peaks and valleys. So if I lock into
Second on me.
that we can definitely get to 8 million, I wouldn't be able to anticipate what those ebbs and flows are. There are peak times for training mandates. There's also different schedules in the summer that our absentee rate fluctuates during summer hours, during holidays. So even with a complement of full staff, the absentee drivers peak and go up and down at different times of the year. So I would really be hesitant to lock into the 8 million. But I would like to say that.
But if we don't have a goal, then we.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what I would say is that to your point of trying to make the reductions, we do have strategies in place to try to have an impact on those reasons. For sick and all other leaves, we're looking at strategies to reduce those numbers.
But I mean, at one point, we believed that changing to a 12-hour shift would have a significant ability to reduce overtime, and to date, that hasn't proven to be true. That's not to fault anyone. Sometimes we make assumptions, and for a variety of reasons, it turns out not to be accurate. So, but it would appear on the face of it that change to that shift has not had a significant effect or impact on reducing overtime.
Hey, Beck, I have a question. How many people are on leave?
119.
Are on leave?
Yes.
There's 119 officers that are out on some kind of leave. Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
So we're really not short officers. If they all came back to work, we'd have plenty of officers. Is that basically it?
We would be in a better position. Yes, sir.
So why is this happening? Why is there a follow-up to ensure that those that are on sick leave are they checked at their residences to make sure they're home? What is the policy?
Yes. So for those members that report out sick, our internal affairs divisions conduct home visits and go out and make sure that they are where they report to be. And then also for OJI, we've been working with the law department to contract investigators to investigate the OJI claims as well. We're putting things together for that group of people because those are big drivers.
For our next meeting, could you give a breakdown on how many on each type of leave so that for the benefit of all the commissioners? So maybe that understands why we have such a shortage?
Well, or have we historically had approximately 100 individuals on leave on a regular basis, right? Like that, there's two parts of the question. Did this just happen in the last few months, or have we regularly, if we go back and look year over year, whatever, the same date or the same month, do we have 100 to 120? Like that would be more valuable from a budget assessment.
Phil's right. If there's an anomaly, let's find out if there is, and if there is, why, and can we expect a better outcome? I don't know.
Hey, Bill, going back to what you said, if it is a jump and it's more than in the past, maybe the 12-hour shift has to be revisited.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's possible too.
Okay. Next question.
I don't want to make the unions arguments for them though.
Yeah. And any other questions for the director? Okay.
No, what are you doing to get more people into the academy? I guess that would be my only other question.
I'll try to answer that. Just to give you an idea of what we're at right now in 2025, we have 15 new officers. We have an additional 13 that are in Hudson right now, the academy. They'll graduate in September. We have 14 at Essex, and they're going to graduate in November. And then we have another 40 that are getting lined up for the next open academy class. We've really worked well with Mark Miller at Hudson, letting us have classes in there. So we're going to try to do 2 a year, and then 2 a year with Essex. We've been allowed to do that as well. To put things in perspective, 2023, we had 82 new officers. 2024 is when the PTC came in with their new mandate. And I'll give you the list. I'll email it to you, the whole thing that they provide. We have to have for all new employees and for current employees to keep their license. And that has affected the hiring in 2024, which we only hired 27. We had to knock a lot off our list and bring less to the academy. But now with the new way of recruiting, in which we've gone to all the local colleges, 5 of them, Hudson County, New Jersey City University. We've also been St. Peter's, and we did Kane and Seton Hall, and we did job fairs there. We did all the high schools in regards to Commissioner O'Day, the contact you gave me for Dickinson gave us an ability to go there when they had all the local high schools within that facility who are not looking to go to college, and we were able to give a job fair there. We also I hit Academic University on West Side Avenue, also the Empowerment School. We attended every county execs job fairs throughout the entire summer, which we had a table and we participated. To date, we had 606 apply this year, but out of those, 294 we had to deny due to their backgrounds.
Jerry Walker, you had something you want to ask, Jerry?
Yeah, just real quick. I know this was post Becky, but several years back, one of the things that I worked with the administration was to have a class to teach to the test. And I'm not sure if Becky, if you have anything like that in your budget that you can add, but I would like to do that again because I thought that was a good way to recruit new COs. So I'm not sure if we have enough in the budget to do that, but I would like to revisit that if possible.
But there is no more test, right?
Yeah, there is no test, Jerry.
No more
test. The only thing they have to complete in order to enter the academy is a physical fitness assessment, which is a mile and a half in over 18 minutes. So, I mean, if they can't do that, that's a problem off the jump. And I think they even brought the push-ups down to 18 and the sit-ups are down to 23. That's to get them in.
Also,
what about the background checks? I know when civilians as opposed to law enforcement officers there's a different standard, I believe. If on a non police or law enforcement applicant, and I get an expungement of a disorderly person offense, that's pretty much a home run. But do the expungements for your applications for COs, do those type of expungements, are they okay? Or do you guys look behind those expungements and don't accept them and say, nah, we looked at this and even though it was expunged, it's still a disqualifier? I'm always confused about that.
The PCC requirements are no expungements. We look at everything. We'll look at every charge you got. It's not a deal breaker if you've been arrested. It depends on what you're arrested for and the severity of the situation, obviously. But basically, the fact you get expunged is irrelevant. You're gonna look.
That's not the fact you get expungement doesn't clean the slate as far as you're concerned. Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, any other questions? Thank you, Becky. And thank you, Eddie. All right, commissioners, I guess tomorrow, that finishes today, right, Abe, everybody?
Yes, yes.
Tomorrow again, 1:30. I just have a couple things. Jerry, can you give me a call when you get a chance? And is MIS on by any chance, Abe?
Yeah, Walt.
I'm here.
Well, Walt, why couldn't I get, I'm on my personal computer. Why couldn't I get my my Zoom meeting notice on my county computer? They kept sending it to me and it wasn't registering. Could you check into that?
I will.
And make sure I get it on both then for tomorrow. Okay. And Abe, can you call Pat Amelia? He needs to understand the procedure, what happened with regards to his situation, or somebody to tell him from purchasing or whatever.
Okay, I'll call him.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Bill, can I call you after the
motion?
Bill, can I call you after the meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
Kenny Kopaz, are you on?
Hold on 1 minute.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Can we-
Do me a favor, Carol. Give me this cell phone number for the superintendent. I want to apologize for her for my the glitch here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn and a second.
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 Favor?
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.